Thank you for tuning in to Cop with Comic. I'm Brian Koppen. We're at Comic Jon Lissman. Jon Lissman, how the hell are you?
Doing well. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for coming on because you're just a busy dude. I can't believe you have a daily Instagram live show.
Thank you. Yeah. Mate Mornings. I would recommend anyone here check it out. It's every day at 8 a.m. Eastern on Insta Live. I drink yerba mate. It's a weird tea. If you haven't tried it, yeah. It's drunk traditionally out of a gourd, and there's a special ritual of packing the tea, and it has a specific straw called the bombilla that you have to drink out of. It's really something you got to see with your eyes. So,
and do you actually drink it out of a gourd? Do you drink it out of a gourd, and do you do that during mate mornings?
Yes and yes. So I've been drinking. Authentic. Yeah. My dad's from Uruguay, so I kind of picked up the habit over the years, and I became such a big fan of mate in general, just as my daily caffeine source. And during this quarantine, I was drinking it. I was thinking of a way to make more content. I'm like, this is the show. This is what I need to do. And I had that Seinfeldian eureka moment, and I said to myself, like, all right, this is the show. Let me interview comedians about quarantine and comedy, and that's every day at 8 a.m. Eastern on Instagram Live.
My Lord, a daily fucking schedule. How do you keep that up, man? I guess it's the tea.
You know what it is? I mean, first off, it's Monday to Friday. You got to, before I work, I have my tea. So I have my mate. So why not interview someone while doing that? And then, when I first did it, I didn't know how long the quarantine would be. Maybe it was 2 weeks, 4 weeks, 8 weeks. Now that we're just keeps on going and going. I don't know how long I'm going to have this time and this freedom to do it. So I'm taking advantage of every day that I can.
And so, is it because, when you start up work, you're no longer going to be able to kind of keep up the daily schedule? Like, this is a quarantine-specific thing?
Yes, and I mean, yeah, it's going to change after the quarantine. I think the having to commute to work versus not is really going to eat. Yeah. I don't know if I'm here in New York. I don't know if I can drink my mate on the subway and film an Instagram live show. That's going to be a bit much.
Man, you'd be doing hero's work if you could. That'd be great to see.
I'd be happy just to get a seat on the subway, but much less set up my whole ring light, But it's a great show every day, 8 a.m. And it's a great way to meet other comedians. I mean, and so many times you're at shows with people, you're at bars, you're hanging out, but like you've never sat down and had an actual conversation. And this is a great opportunity to get to meet people, get to chat about mate, and just realize how many interesting people there are in the New York City comedy scene.
Yeah, I guess one of the ways you're getting all these cool guests is the fact that you've been running the Good One Comedy for so long.
Yes, thank you. It's true. So Good One Comedy, it's a great comedy collective. I started it with a couple classmates of mine from the Pit. We all took the Stand-Up 101 class. Pit, of course, the People's Improv Theater. This was kind of winter 2017. And okay, listen, after that, we wanted to kind of start a mic or something. And one of us was good with social media. One of us was good with, kind of had done the most stand-up, and another one had worked in bars and restaurants, which is key.
That is between all three
ingredient. Yeah,
between all three of you guys knew how to kind of produce a show.
We really had three great people. Then we were eager to work together. So it started out as an open mic in Greenpoint at a bar called One Bedford, but then. Yeah, no, you'll find out quickly with any kind of live attendance thing at a bar that you really got to draw the numbers. So since then, we've been doing our open mic at Parkside Lounge in the Lower East Side. Very cool venue. Hoping that reopens very, very soon. And monthly shows at the Pit where we started. And it's just been a great ride. It's been so good. Our last show, of course, in person was in February. And,
oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
And I mean, have you taken it online, the Good One shows?
100%. And we've really we've doubled down with the online stuff. We do 2 mics a day, every day at 5 p.m. and 8 p.m. And anyone who is welcome to come, even if you've never done comedy before. It's such a good way to practice your material. And well, I mean, for online, of course, it's not the real thing. It's definitely not as good as being up on a real stage in front of people. But the fact remains, I think it's the best that we got right now. So I would encourage any comic to do it. Yeah.
Yeah. Your first Zoom showcase had both Carly Montag and also Carly Montag and Steven Rogers. So that was a pretty good one.
Absolutely. We did our first Zoom show. It was on YouTube Live, actually. In May. It's all a blur, this quarantine. And yeah, we decided to skip June, but we're going to be putting one together for July. Okay. Stay tuned. Yeah.
And so how does that, the Goodwin system work? Like if I wanted to get on a Goodwin show, is the way to do that kind of through the mic? Like you encourage them to come to the mic first?
For sure. We always like to know who we're putting on our shows a little. So it always helps to have you on once or twice at the mic. But no, we can also just submit a tape. We're happy to put on any good comedian out there that we think would be a good addition to the show. And so yeah, submit a tape, but I check out the mic first, get to know us a little. It's always the best way, in my opinion.
Yeah, buy you a beer or a cup of coffee, and you're good to go. Or a yerba mate. Right?
That's right. Refill my yerba mate thermos, and that's the way to get my heart. Yeah, absolutely. But no.
How are you balancing your own career with producing all these shows? I guess they probably work a symbiotic relationship.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. If you want something bad enough, you find the time. I'm an immigration lawyer by day, so 9 to 5, that's where my head's at. I'm constantly, I focus on citizenship cases at the moment, so helping a lot of people here with green cards become citizens. And, it's my day job, and then my night job is stand-up comedy. Find the time.
Hustling and laughing. Like I noticed that, I'm a lawyer, and so one of the things that a lawyer does is he kind of knows how to administer some of this bullshit. Like he knows how tedious some of the shit can get, and so recruitment and making sure everybody's showing up on time is something that you have to do at your day job and your night job.
Absolutely, and I guess having that background helps me organize and be more scheduled than I would be otherwise, for sure.
Yeah.
It just, it is when you have a 9 to 5, you're okay. The other time is so much more valuable. You have to make the most of it, and it just kind of forces you to be militant in schedules and have a good just balance of everything.
Yeah, and so and then when are you getting up on all these shows? Like, which of you are at the mics, and are all 3 of you at every mic, and are all 3 of you at every show?
No. The answer is no. So the mics, we kind of rotate. I typically do 5 p.m. Monday to Friday. My co-host Sean Gibbs does 8 p.m. and weekend shows, and actually the other co-host Mike Malone splits the weekend. We kind of split it off. We can't do everything every day, and then every so often things come up. It's nice to have a couple people there to cover for you, and we take turns. We support each other, and we would be at every show unless there was some sort of scheduling conflict. I don't know.
And then you get up at all these shows at least as a host, or are you always giving yourself a spot?
Both, yeah. We would rotate hosting and also make sure to give ourselves enough time to do a set.
Yeah, it's got to be worth it. Like, you can't neglect the career, so it's nice that they both work together to ensure you're getting stage time. Was that was that the goal at the beginning to be like, I don't want to be at the mercy of whoever has the hat at the open mic. Let's just start our own.
Yeah, I mean, just I don't know. I think we're all still at the mercy. I do other mics, so no matter what happens, we are at the mercy of the bucket of the comedy gods, hoping they select us at a favorable time.
That's funny. No. There's no way around it. It's like, I go to other mics, so I have to deal with these gatekeepers.
Yeah, and you know what? It's fine. I I don't know. We did it because we wanted more hosting experience. As a open mic comic, you're performing, you're not hosting, and also because, just to have your own thing. It forces you to be consistent and stay on top of it and develop it. And it's been a good experience, and it's going to keep on being a good experience.
Oh, good. And so now, like, when are you guys going to start? When is phase 4 or whatever comedians are? And do you have any outside spaces that you might try to organize, like rooftops or parks?
Yeah. Well, I've already started going. See, here's why it's nice to not just do your mic, because you don't have to deal with the trouble of lugging an amp and lights and chairs up to a roof. It's nice to just show up sometimes. I would say at the moment we're more focused on the Zoom thing. We're going to be doing a Zoom show in July, and we'll take it one day at a time, 1 month at a time. I don't know that we have a space to do that at the moment, but let's see how things evolve. I've only started this week going to do stuff outdoors again in front of people.
And what was that like?
It was incredible. Well, okay. So this Wednesday I did my, I mean,
it was incredible. Well, let me explain.
Yeah, I mean, listen, it's, nothing is good okay, let me just get into it. On Wednesday, 3 p.m., Washington Square Park, there's a daily mic that I went to, and I think it was my first time in front of a live audience in like 106 days, maybe more, and it didn't go well. It went pretty bad. It's like, all these 20-year-old young kids that are not wearing masks or gloves, and they all feel invincible, and I'm like holding the mic fragilely in my hand with a handkerchief. But okay, and that set didn't go well, and I was like upset and angry. And then last night I did another mic. This one was on a rooftop, and okay, dude, that set went well. Like, oh my god, I forgot that feeling of a good set, and all the paranoia, all the fears. I mean, I'm sure that as much as you want to get back and have a good set, it's better to have a bad set and get over it. Like that pushing through it moment has been truly valuable to get under my belt. Although nothing's under my belt. It's I feel like you have some adrenaline when you first get back out there, and then there's going to be a rough period to kind of slog through.
Yeah. And what kind of stuff are you exploring on stage that, are new, fresh angles on what the fuck is happening right now? Like, don't tell me any jokes or anything, but like, how are you going to stand out if everybody has the same pandemic and quarantine and Black Lives Matter jokes?
I mean, to be honest, I don't know. I think there has not been that people have maybe 15 to 20% of what they're doing is about quarantine and stuff, but I think I know that I've focused on material that's going to be relatable after. I've just been doing different stories from my past before the quarantine and making bits out of them. So but yeah, people just want to hear what's going on in your life, your struggles, quar or not, and whatever. I'm happy things are open again. Venues are starting to slowly have shows again. People are ready to get back into it, and so am I.
Yeah, I just had Khalid Rahman on, and he has a show he's with Charles McBee at the QED Astoria thing, The Nerd is the New Black. So it surprised me because I did 80 episodes at QED Astoria, and I didn't know that they had a backyard.
Yeah, I didn't either, actually. And earlier today, I signed up for their open mic, Friday, July 3rd.
Really?
And I whatever. I'm just going to show up and trust they put a backyard somewhere. Dude. I feel like it's the alley where they stacked the dumpsters, and now they're just bringing the dumpsters inside to sell mic space. I can't picture it. I know it's on a block of homes, so it kind of would make sense. But yeah, dude, it's well, I don't know. I'll let you know after Friday.
Yeah, please do. And what are some of the things that are making their way into your act? Like, are you observational? Are you autobiographical? Like, what kind of things are you talking about generally on stage, before and after quarantine?
Yeah, dude, that's autobiographical. I like my life, my stories, my just still kind of focusing on my persona and finding my voice on stage. And so I always end up talking about just weird experiences and how I've reacted to them. It's autobiographical, but it's not linear, if that makes sense.
Okay. And then I would think that makes transition a little bit difficult if it's not linear.
Right. It's just whatever's on my mind that I want to rant about. If there's a news story, that's being discussed, I'll of course make sure to take my time to get into it. But really, it's I'm Jewish, I'm Latino. You get an interesting mix of upbringing with that.
Yeah.
And I've moved to Brooklyn in a very Caribbean neighborhood, so it's kind of all these mixing of cultures and how I absorb it all.
And do you find that the experiences are you finding that the experiences that happen to you are weird, or is it your reaction that's strange?
I mean, it doesn't feel weird to me until I tell it on stage, and then it's like, oh wait, maybe this wasn't the best birthday gift. Maybe this wasn't the a normal email to get from your mom. Something, it's just I don't know. It's stuff that you like look back and you see the humor and want to share with everyone.
And I mean, is there anything in your day job that makes it in? I'm sure you don't break attorney-client privilege, but there must be some funny shit that happens, right?
Yes and no. Like, I'll be honest, I don't know. It's just like I have a different switch. I've like compartmentalized the two. I've tried writing about topical immigration things, and it's okay. I make fun of the N400, the citizenship form, every now and then. Some of the questions on there are ridiculous. Like, are you a terrorist? Have you ever? Were you a member of the Nazi Party between 39 and 45? As if you were a member any other year, you'd be cool. It's what's another good? They ask, are you a prince or in your foreign country? Like, why would any prince be giving up their status? Right? You'd have to be.
Love that shit.
Thank you, man.
So that's a form you typically deal with, and so this humor just, the jokes wrote themselves once you looked at this form with a comedic eye.
Definitely. I mean, it's funny, and then whether it translates to the stage, it kind of depends on the audience and the energy level I'm getting.
Yeah. And so it sounds like you and Sean Gibbs and Mike Malone found each other at the Pit. I mean,
yes.
It sounds, and each of you kind of have a different strength. One of you worked in restaurants. One of you was pretty far in stand-up or whatever. But does your comedy also kind of fit together well? Like, are they doing things that complement your own?
Well, I don't know. I actually would say we have three unique styles. It's so I want to say no to the question, but having three unique styles has, as we all take our turns kind of inviting people to shows, I've met comics I wouldn't have otherwise that I've been so impressed by and have like been grateful to have met. So it's even though we don't have maybe an overlap in style, there's a lot of good that comes from that too.
So some people might vibe well with John, some people might vibe well with Sean, and some might vibe well with Mike.
Absolutely, yeah, definitely.
So what's the putting on the big shows or whatever, whether it's electronically or I guess it's digitally or in person? I mean, are you guys just looking for that quality, or are you looking for more than that? Like, do they have to have a voice? Are you looking at skin color and things like this, or is it uniqueness of experience in general, regardless of what your color is?
I mean, no, dude, we definitely don't want to do a show with 8 white guys and blend, like fall into the blob, the poster. I think we do look for a diverse, inclusive kind of mix of comics, but of course, talent trumps everything. We want to get the best average, we can out of our performers, just to produce the best possible show that we can. So it's a little bit of everything.
And so, and it sounds like your first venue might have been a little bit too big for you guys. You said that you have to fill the seats and stuff like that. What else kind of makes a good comedy room for you?
Okay, so listen, I mean, obviously capacity, you want to make it filled. You don't want empty seats. That's of course the worst thing. I just good sight lines, good lighting, good an elevated stage, like we do at the Pit right now. where there's also a tech booth, so we can have different kind of musical and light cues. But more than anything, just a good bar where people have had a couple drinks. They're in close proximity. They kind of cramp space, everything that this virus loves and we need to avoid are the best conditions for a comedy show.
That's so funny. It's conducive to humor is also conducive to coronavirus.
Absolutely, 100% correlation.
And so are you going to have to, are you going to have to socially, kind of pick your venue with an eye towards social distancing? Like if you're able to fill it with 50, now you need a room for 100 or something.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't plan on producing an indoor show until there's a vaccine, if I'm being honest. So we might, I think we're really looking to expand our Zoom show thing. We had a great run the first time, and we want to make sure, I mean, even after clubs come back, we're talking about continuing our stuff on Zoom because people, again, as much as comics are dying to get up on stage, I wonder how much audiences are dying to go back to some of these rooms that have the clubs are in. So it's going to be a bit of a experiment as we go. I would be open to some kind of, I don't know, dude, producing a show at an event, bringing the equipment to the park and drawing people. And I've like done the mics. It's just like you can't tune out the noise. It's weird. I'm not the biggest fan of the park show. The roof one has much more appeal, but then whose roof? How many people? Is it enough people? So really, until there's a vaccine, I'm more than happy as a producer to just do the Zoom thing. But as a performer, I would much rather get on stage. I know it's you have to wear two hats when you're putting a show together as a comic. Yeah.
I just had Kelly Taylor on, and I think she said that the money was better as a Zoom comic, like meaning like the money was better.
Interesting. Yeah.
Via internet. Are you noticing that's true, or I guess you're the one paying?
Yeah, I mean, as the producer, we hired a tech. We wanted to make sure everything was good. Like if you're able to get booked, why not? Yeah, I mean, there's less travel time, of course. There's less expense, of course. I can definitely see that being the case, and it's tough, dude. I don't know, man. I've been to good Zoom shows. I've been to so many mediocres, and it's just like. I mean, if a producer's willing to pay, that's great. I'm just wondering how much audiences are going to be, once things start to open up again, willing to keep the Zoom thing going.
Oh, yeah. Are they paying more now? Like, meaning are the audience members, because some of these shows are raising tons of fucking money. It leads me to believe that maybe people are opening their wallets more now, if that's possible.
Yeah. I mean, listen, everyone's financial situation is different. There's certainly... a lot of GoFundMes and, kind of charity efforts to help support out of work performers of all kinds and bartending and waiting staff that's also not able to work right now. So it's, I think there is a sense of urgency with donating, and that has helped fund this or fuel this movement. But let's see how long this lasts, and hopefully we can get back to normal pretty soon.
Yeah, you're right. That some people might be less likely to go out of their, to tune into a Zoom if they have 84,000 other things to do, like you said. Now, if I want to see Mate Morning seems to be at JList 86 is the Instagram for that.
100%. It's my personal Instagram. It's every day at 8 a.m. Eastern, and it's a cool show. Listen. No one's going live at 8 a.m. It's crazy. It's like a talk, like I don't know, a Regis show, whatever. Strahan, whoever does the Good Morning America now. But it's like a fun wake-up-y show, and I don't know. Everyone's happier in their morning. Their day hasn't gone to crap yet. Everyone's optimistic, and it's a good way to start the day. If you're in your bed, just turn it on for 5 minutes. Give it a go.
I love that. And so they're not groggy. I mean, they're still sharp enough to make you laugh.
Well, yeah. So it's fun because you start off groggy, and then like 20 minutes in, the caffeine kicks in for comic and for both of us. And I'm drinking my mate. They're usually having their first tea or coffee of the day. And it's just a nice thing. And I was doing it anyway. Like what a blessing that, like, for the first time in my life, comedy's fitting around my schedule instead of me trying to fit my schedule around comedy.
Yes. Yeah. So the pandemic has been good to Jon Lissman.
I've been making the most of every minute. Absolutely.
Oh, good. And that's what we get from the discipline of being lawyers.
I mean, dude, yeah. Honestly, I gotta tell you, I the whole reason I'm doing comedy. I mean, okay, besides all the love and passion I have for it, I remember I was studying for the bar. This was like 2012, and just miserable every minute, hating it. Why am I doing this? Life sucks. What? And like, a good friend of mine convinced me that everyone needs a creative hobby. Yeah. And it just like opened up my mind. It never occurred to me that I needed to be creative in any way. Like, I enjoy entertainment and I'm happy to consume it, but I never thought about producing it. And
that would have helped you for the 3 years of law school too, if you had the creative. It's like, why did you wait till the bar exam to tell me that?
Yeah, I wonder. I mean, I don't know. I feel like I didn't have any time then, but I think it would have. I would have, if I found the time, had a better balance on the whole thing. And okay, dude, you need something to like this to motivate you, to bring you joy, to just find your creative passion and pursue it.
And so that's when you started comedy, and that's when Good One Comedy started up.
Yeah, Good One came a few years later, but that's when I started doing open mics and just developing my act little by little.
Good. Well, I follow you on Twitter. You're Good One Comedy across, that
Yes.
and Instagram, but you also have goodonecomedy.com where they can find all these social links.
100%.
Okay, and they check out Mate Mornings every morning at 8 o'clock. You said 8
a.m. Eastern. JLiss86.
Wow, dude, that's fun. Dude, you're doing hero's work, man. If you're gonna make people laugh, if you're gonna make people laugh at 8 a.m., dude, you deserve another yerba mate.
I thank you. And listen, I much prefer it, dude. I'm a morning person. If comedy, there needs to be more comedy done in the daytime. I'm starting a revolution here. It's
me too. Yeah, me too. That's why I don't go to comedy clubs at all, because it's like I can't fucking stay up that late.
Yeah, dude. We got jobs. We got places to. I mean, yeah. Unless there's a show, I'm rarely out past 10.
Well, so you're saving immigrants during the day and you're making everyone laugh at night. So thank you so much, Jon Lissman.
Dude, thank you. My pleasure. And keep up the great work. And I hope to see you out there in the real world very soon.
Oh, I can't wait. Thanks, Jon.
My pleasure, Dan. Take care.